Greetings. Welcome back. Welcome back indeed. Yeah, so this one was a really bad one, but not in terms of the Cerberus or the difficulty per se. No, it was distance. All of the nines are in the separate corners of the star, and even one of the loading planets are in another corner. The most spread out star you could possibly have. Yeah, so that's already bad, but initially, there are no Cerberus here to lower the hull of my Vengeance ship. Yeah, see, normally there's a Colossus sector, but once again got replaced by a couple of Sentinels, as though that will do anything. And then there are no filler sectors like this kind of filler sector. Even this has less Cerbs. The sectors that are adjacent to the star sector usually has like 5 Sentinels and like 4 or 5 Guardians. Even those are out of the picture. Everything is so spread out, and look at how many freaking bombers there are. It's just annoying. So yeah, that was bad. You can see the time there, 17 minutes. That's a couple minutes over what I usually do. Luckily, the artifacts on these planets were not the best. There were a couple of good ones in there. The average 6 or so, or 7 artifacts, but yeah, not that good. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, 2 brawlers and a vengeance ship, typical setup for me. This level 9 was in my teleport range, so I jumped on it immediately. Was kind of lost looking for Serbs to lower the hull of the Vengeance ship. So I was kind of doing that. I decided to go for this one over here first instead of this one, this level 9, because this level 9 was right next to the gates. And this is usually whichever one I don't go for in the beginning is victim to my second vengeance. And this one, yeah, again, next to the gates. Although, oddly enough, was not the last one to be cleared because of all this nonsense down here, the bombers and whatnot. But, yeah, so I went for this sector because this is the sector I was talking about, having 4 or 5 Sentinels and 4 or 5 Guardians in it. So I jumped on here. Was just enough to get my hull low enough, and then jumped onto that, this P9, this planet level 9, the storms. I will say, though, because I had to zoom out a bit more than usual to look across the star, I was doing rather well in terms of keeping up with these storms and whatnot. Yeah, I should have just gone for these two, because at least I can kind of see between them. But, you know, oh well. But yeah, that sector lowered my hull just enough for a amplifier pulse to get me into Vengeance range. Sadly, a bit slow on the draw here. They're already spawning and about to leave. Luckily, this one was going in kind of my direction, so that's what I aimed for here. And, yeah, okay, well, because I was late to this sector, this storm is not quite as dead as I'd like it to be. But that's fine. And as usual, I'm going to not sit on the Phoenix, but let the Sentinels and Guardians just walk into me, just to knock them out. So yeah, got that. A nice vengeance there, however. Hitting too hard. I didn't see that I killed that destroyer. If I was a little quicker with my repair drone, I would have gotten it. So no repair for me on this Vengeance ship. And yeah, letting the Sentinels and Guardians walk into these brawlers. However, I was a little bit more pressured on this side with the double bomber situation. One thing I hate about the double bomber, they're never on top of each other. So their rockets are kind of lopsided, I guess. They basically, they don't fire all four rockets at the same time, or rather, they don't reach the destination at the same time. So I can't, yeah, the gap there. So I can't really rely on that. So I decided to just bail. That storm was low enough on hull that I didn't have to worry about it. So yeah, I left that, and at this point, I realized that my vengeance ship missed the repair drone. So I kind of just left it there for a second. Over here, I was going to use a tried and true method, EMP the rockets under the shield, not only dealing damage to the Phoenix, but also knocking out the shield as well, so I don't have to worry about this ship anymore. I was going to take on the double bombers right now, but they were out of the way, and I didn't really need to deal with them right now, so I decided to just knock out the closer bomber just to get the civilians ready for their whole thing. One issue over here, however, the Guardians and Colossus spawned a lot sooner than I was hoping, and I was not comfortable with 5 Sentinels on top of me with a bunch of Guardians and a Colossus nearby, so I decided to just walk around a little bit, trying to kill the Phoenix without getting bamboozled by all 5 Sentinels, and yeah, it's a good time. Knock out the Guardians and let the Sentinels walk into me one at a time. Jumped in the civilians, let them civilize as usual. Yeah, this was a very all over the place run. I was looking around. I was very on top of things, I suppose. Good old caffeine kicking in. So I jumped down here, just started knocking out the bomber. Distracted a little bit. EMP. Yeah, I was utilizing this strategy a bit more often than usual here. EMP and then check on like other ships. So I EMP'd that and then started loading these civilian ships up here. I looked back down just to make sure that everything was not going to kill me. Go ahead and chase it and knock it out. Random interceptor there, as usual. They like to follow you around. I wasn't too worried about it because, again, stealth has a low cooldown. So if it's convenient for you to just walk into an interceptor spawn, go for it. Cooldown is only 3 minutes. Sent a repair drone out to heal this ship because I didn't want to use its own repair drone because it might need that. And this ship is going to kind of be on civilian defense for a while, so it's not going to need its repair drone at all. So yeah, I did that. Let the civilians pick up from here again before I tackle this sector down here. I believe it was a simple drive-by. I just knocked out the Guardians. I always underestimate how powerful Solitude and Massbat level 12 are. Because a big concern are the Guardians, right? But it doesn't take long to kill them at all. So sometimes I'll move when I don't need to. Like here, for example. I didn't need to move. I would have killed the Guardians quite quickly. So yeah, deal with that. My EMP just got off cooldown. I just noticed that, so I EMP just to check on other things, check on other ships. A nice little strategy there. Saw that 2 interceptors were on their way there, so let that ship deal with that. Get this ship into position because I saw that its vengeance was off cooldown. Again, probably should have gone for that upper one, but oh well. Excuse me. So yeah, wasting no time here, going onto the planet. Plenty of signals in the middle to get my vengeance off. A nice clean vengeance there. Wanted to knock out a storm, and I almost did. I left a little too early. Just a smidge, but that's fine. That is fine. Walk up here. This ship's modules are on cooldown, so it could take care of this sector. This ship's modules were off cooldown, so, and also its repair drone was almost up, so initially I was going to have this battleship take this on, but yeah, I saw the module cooldowns, and I saw that, yeah, I did need to. These 4 artifacts are all going to be burned, so I sent 2 transports to do that. Nice thing for loading there. I had to send all 4 down there. Because when you burn artifacts for Red Star Extender, the first artifacts are burned up first, and I didn't want to burn the transport and minor artifacts, so yeah, but this doesn't require any modules really. I could just sit here. I got a full shield, so I can let the sentinels just hit me. Use the tried and true method. Teleport onto a storm and a phoenix. Let the storm fire and then EMP. Just so there's more targets for your mass bat to knock out the shield. And again, the Guardians were in range, so before the EMP expired, I guess right as the EMP expired, I decided to move there. The storm was low in hull, that's right. I didn't have to worry about getting hit with storm darts, but I did have to worry about getting hit with rockets instead. Yeah, not a good time there, not a good time at all, so I was dancing over here while also dealing with loading and the civilians, letting the miners get in there and mine up. Again, if you're moving, right? If you're moving somewhere with your battleship and your EMP is down, and you're not in immediate danger, like I know I'm going to be out of the range of these rockets, you can just move and then check back on everything. Then before it reaches its destination, make sure you go back to the battleships. Sat there with a repair drone because I knew that was going to kill it. Because this vengeance ship, let off its second vengeance, it's now in civilian defense duty, so I can let this brawler deal with the bombers up here. However, I knew there was going to be a lot of time before I could get up there, so yeah, I'd boost these things to get the hydrogen down. Wait for these bombers to fire again, waiting for that interceptor to die. Go up here. I was going to follow, but I decided to just EMP again, just to get everything moving as usual. You don't need to suspend for everything. You don't need to follow serves all the time. You can just EMP and look around. Not too shabby. Knocking out more interceptors, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Very all over the place. Very haphazard. Although, I guess really clean. Not too many hiccups. I believe the only hiccup really was the destroyers, because of how weird they spawned. Yeah, so one of the worst RNG spawns, but luckily, at least in my case, the caffeine pulled through for me, and I was on top of things. Yeah, could have been better there. Should have went up here, but again, I didn't think that this whole fiasco down here was going to take so long to clear out. Once again, luckily the arts were kind of bad. And yeah, once again, advertising for Red Star Extender when you're doing a solo Dark Red Stars, because sometimes the placement is just awful, and you'll need extra time to deal with that bad spawn, the horrible spawn. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I eked out a victory, so I guess it was all in good fun. And I suppose that is all. I'll see you around. Ta-ta for now.